TotalMD version 16 video. Today we're going to be highlighting several of the new features inside the TotalMD version 16. First feature we're going to talk about today is the ability to set up required or suggested fields inside the software. To do that, you're going to click on Activities and go down to Required Fields and decide whether or not you're going to be setting them up in the patient or the billing entry area. We'll go ahead and set this up in the patient entry area for now. When you've clicked on that, it'll open up a screen that looks very similar to what it would look like when you're entering in a brand new patient, where it's going to show you all the fields where you can enter in information. To set these up, you'll just click on the field you'd like to set it up for. So if I click on it one time, it's going to turn it yellow, which is a recommended field. If I click on it a second time, it'll turn it this reddish pinkish color, and that means it's required. We can set that up for as many of the fields as you'd like. So go ahead and set up a couple more, and we'll save those changes. Now when I come in here and click on New Patient, we can see that the fields that we set up as required have this light pink or reddish color background here and here, and where the recommended fields have the light yellow color. If I was setting this up and tried to save it without one of the required fields filled out, it is going to come up with an error that says make sure all required fields, in this case the birth date, still needs to be filled out. It's not going to come up with a message about the recommended fields. Those are just showing as yellow to give you a visual indicator, but they won't keep you from saving them. The next feature we're going to talk about is the task list. The task list can be accessed from anywhere in the program simply by clicking the F12 key on your keyboard, or you can also go up to lists and you have your task list window, which we're seeing here, or the task list, which would show you it in a list view just like all the other lists inside the program. A task list is a way to create tasks that you can assign to different people in the office, set priority levels, and give them specific due dates. If I want to set up a new task, I can either come over here from this window and click on New Task, or if I have my task list view window up, I can just right click, do New Task, and the little task entry window will pop up where I can give it a title, some detail, assign a priority and a user, as well as give it a due date. I can also mark it to warn on a specific date, and that just means that it'll give it this yellow color from that date forward. And then when we've completed the task, we can mark it as completed. We're going to take an existing task, say that it's completed, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it as completed. When we do that, it falls off the list here. If we would like to see it again, we can always change our view, see what different filters we'd like to see. For example, we'll show completed tasks, and it goes back and shows everything. It just shows us the checkbox on the ones that are completed. So any user could come in here and look up their specific tasks and know exactly what it is that they need to be working on. The next feature we're going to talk about today is the patient journal. Now the patient journal is accessed by clicking on the F11 key, although it differs from the task list in the sense that you can't do it from any screen. You can only do it from a screen where a patient is selected or highlighted. So the patient list like we're in here now, an appointment, a claim list, or a ledger, those types of screens if you hit F11, or you can also go up to Activities and click on Patient Journal. That will also open up the Patient Journal. The Patient Journal is just an area where you can go in and make notes for a specific patient and keep a list of those that are dated and that you can go back and reference and find whenever you'd like. When you click to access the Patient Journal, it's going to pull up today's date automatically. You can put in a title if you'd like to, or it's going to automatically default to the cursor being in here. So if I'd like to just start typing, it will save the first 35 characters of the body as the title if you don't put a title in. It also has different filters or search options down here, so if you're looking for a specific note or group of notes, you can find those as well. In addition, you can click this expand box and it'll show you the note in more of a preview window type setup, so you can see body of all the notes or several of the notes all at one time. The next several features we're going to talk about are in the ledger. You might notice right away that the background color of each charge in the ledger now is grayed out. This gives you an easier way to tell where each charge starts. By default now, also, the claim and statement history is excluded from the ledger, but can easily be added back in if you'd like to see it. Also, one of the new filters is the ability to hide zero balances. So if I click that one, these two charges here, as well as the associated payments and adjustments if there were any, or notes, things like that, would all disappear. Another cool feature in the ledger is the ability to have additional information that you can see up here at the top of your screen. There's these tabs here now, whereas the balance information is what's always been here. You can click on the More tab, and it'll switch to show you other information like facilities, referring providers, and your default diagnosis code. If you have a wide enough screen, you can click on these arrows here, and it'll actually show both of those two screens side by side. If your screen is not long enough, however, you can always just toggle between them using the tabs. The last feature we're going to talk about in the ledger for this video is this new checkbox here that says View Mode. When I click on View Mode, it changes the ledger so we can no longer edit the information in here. But what it does do is it allows us to view the ledger in different ways. For example, we can see the items in the ledger by claim number. Click claim number here and click set. Now it shows me that there's only 2 claims. If I click on the plus sign, it'll show me the charges with their associated payments and adjustments that are in that specific claim. I could also click on account number as an example, and it's going to group that information when I hit set by procedure code, where I can see how many of each procedure code was done. Again, if I click on the plus sign, it's going to give me the information associated with that procedure code. And also with each one of these, there's different filters you can also use. So if you'd like to narrow things down based on specific dates, you can also do that. The last group of features that I want to highlight today are associated with the claims inside the program. The first feature is claim filters, where when you click create claims, it'll ask you if there are certain filters you'd like to use in order to specify which claims you'd actually like to create. If you'd like to create all your claims, just like you have in the past, you just leave the filters blank, hit OK, and it'll then ask you the same questions as it always has before. Next, we have the ability to see all the dates of service associated with a claim directly from the claim list. To do that, you just click on the plus sign over here on the left-hand side, and it'll show a drop-down list of all the charges with their dates of service. Additionally, if you'd like to change the order of any of the items on here, you can do that simply by right-clicking on it and choosing whether you'd like to move that particular line up or down on the claim. It's not going to change the procedure on the ledger, but it will change how it's displayed on the actual claim itself. And lastly, we have these date of service filter, where we can decide which claims we'd like to display in our list based on a specific date of service. So if I'd like to see all my claims from 2015, for example, I could just type in that specific range, and that's what my claim list will display for me. Thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you've enjoyed the features that we've highlighted here for version 16. To check out more of the features, please attend one of our webinars or contact our sales department at 1-800-613-7597, and someone there will be happy to discuss any and all the features associated with the new TotalMD version 16.